You forgot my drink. Should I bark to get your attention? His voice cut through the restaurant like a whip, smooth and cruel. Elise froze mid-step, gripping her tray tighter as the laughter rose around her. The man in the tailored black suit, Mason Thorne, billionaire CEO of a Fortune 100 tech company, leaned back in his chair, smirking, clearly enjoying the attention. It wasn't the first time he'd humiliated a server. But this time, he chose the wrong woman. Before we dive into the story, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing from you. All right, let's jump in. Elise turned calm and professional, apologizing for the delay. The kitchen was backed up. She hadn't even been assigned to his table. But Mason waved her words away like smoke and snapped his fingers. "You want to make it up to me?" he asked loudly, making sure every eye in the room was on them. "Then crawl. Show me some loyalty." Like a good little dog, gasps spread through the room. A few people laughed, unsure, uncomfortable. Others pulled out their phones. Elise stood frozen, every cell in her body screaming. She could have walked away, she should have, but something in her gaze shifted. Slowly she got down on her knees. The leash, a twisted party gag one of Mason's assistants smugly handed over, clipped around her neck with a soft click. He tugged it once, twice, until she moved forward on all fours. The crowd erupted, half horrified, half entertained. "And Mason," he roared with laughter. "That's more like it," he said, grinning for the cameras he didn't realize were still rolling. She didn't say a word, didn't cry, didn't shake, just locked eyes with him as he laughed like a god. She crawled 2 steps, rose to her knees, unclipped the leash herself, and stood. Then she walked away. Not back to the kitchen, out the front door. But that wasn't the end, it was the beginning. By the next morning, Elise's name was everywhere. Not because someone leaked the footage, she did. She posted the full, unedited video herself with one caption: "This is what power looks like in silence." Within hours, it went viral. 60 million views in one day. Mason Thorne's name trended worldwide, not for his innovations, but for his humiliation. Corporate news tried to spin it. His PR team went into overdrive. But the clip was damning. A billionaire degrading a waitress in public, leashing her like property. The internet exploded in fury. But that wasn't her revenge. That was her platform. You see, Elise wasn't just a waitress. She was a Harvard-educated entrepreneur who'd stepped away from Wall Street after experiencing workplace abuse herself. She'd taken a job waiting tables to fund a secret project, a tech platform connecting women survivors of corporate harassment to legal resources, community, and investors who cared. She called it Unleashed. No one had funded it. Until now. Overnight, donations poured in. Crowdfunding soared past $3 million. Celebrities reached out. Angel investors offered backing. Within 48 hours, Elise was on every major morning show, not as a victim, but as the voice of a generation tired of being walked over. She never raised her voice, never insulted Mason. She simply let the world see who he truly was. And Mason, he tried to apologize. In a tweet. But the board wasn't buying it. Stock prices fell, partnerships were pulled, his co-founders issued a vote of no confidence, and he was forced to resign within a week. The man who once dragged a woman on her knees was now begging for relevance. Elise, she bought the restaurant that fired her, not to own it, but to gift it to the kitchen staff who had always treated her with dignity. She established a scholarship for young women in business, and when asked what drove her to stay so calm in that moment, she simply said, "Because I already knew who I was. I didn't need to prove it to a man on a leash of his own ego." In the final twist of poetic justice, her company, Unleashed, surpassed the valuation of Mason's former startup in under a year. She was invited to speak at global conferences, serve on panels with world leaders, and represent millions who had once felt voiceless. But Elise never made it about her. She made it about all the women who had been laughed at, silenced, disrespected, and told to crawl, and chose to rise instead. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't yelling back. It's building something so big they can't laugh over it. They'll choke on the silence you leave behind. Everyone sees things differently. Tell me how this story felt to you and what you would do if you were in their place. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below.